this is Joy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a card for Spellbinders. It was part of the Winter Tales release, and I am using the Enchanted Garden die set along with some of the cardstocks from Spellbinders, the pomegranate, mahogany, chamomile, indigo, plum, and some green from my stash, and some gold as well from my stash. So I started out by die cutting all of the flowers. I shouldn't say all of the flowers, two of the flowers, and then I separated them by color into that little dish that you see there. For this flower, I did the part with the stamen in gold, and then I added a purple and then a red. I know my lighting's pretty bad in this one. I am going to have to upgrade my lighting. That's a hint to my husband because my lights have been sitting in my room uninstalled for, I don't know, 3 months. Anyway, I digress. So here I am just trying to decide which stem I'm going to use, and for this flower, because of the weight of the top, I decided to use the more solid stem. I am putting all of this together with Barely Art Glue, which is available at the Spellbinders shop if you are interested. I do find that that glue is the easiest because it's got the fine detail tip to it. Also, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. I'm sorry that my head gets in the way. Now I'm doing another flower, and I love that little red flower up there in that top right. It reminds me of a beetle or a ladybug. Anyhow, I used the chamomile and some plum cardstock to create this flower, and again I put this together with the Barely Art Glue. I chose the stem that was opened or had the piercing in it. I thought that was really pretty, and I know that you can tell from the video, but I do 2 flowers for each one of those, and I just think they're really pretty. I love these Nordic looking flowers. I'm looking forward to using them more for Christmas crafting, but I wanted to do some autumn colors, obviously, because we're entering fall right now. You can scan the QR code in the upper right hand corner if you want access to the Spellbinders shop. That's the quickest way to get there. All products will be linked in my description box below. Here I'm using the indigo cardstock, and I am embossing that with the Circle Illusion 3D embossing folder. I find that this works best if you give it a light mist. That way you prevent any type of cracking. And I do put that through my platinum machine. Also in the same color cardstock, I use the Yana's Tiny Sentiments to hot foil my sentiment, and I use the accompanying die for that. I went ahead and glimmered all of the things so that I could have extras in my pouch. I always save them. I figured that's the best way. I did go ahead and ground that with some gold cardstock just so that it would pop a little bit from my background, and I love the way this turned out. Also, I think you can tell from the video, but I used some gold foil to do this. I then applied a piece of the chamomile cardstock to an A2 side folding card base, and again I glue that down with my Barely Art Glue because I like wiggle room in case I don't get things on straight. That just seems to be my issue with crafting. I then adhere this indigo panel that's been embossed, and I trimmed that down to 4 by 5 1/4 so that there would be a little bit of a border. If you have stuck with me this long, I would truly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing, liking my video, and leaving me a comment so that my channel can grow a little bit. All those things seem to help in the algorithm on YouTube, so I do appreciate that. Also, I love interacting with you guys, and I try to get back to all of you when you leave me a comment, so I do appreciate that. Now you're going to see that I am arranging the flowers, and what I did is I kind of alternated the flowers so that they would be in the rectangle, kind of framing the card front panel. I then popped up the sentiment that was blocked off in the gold in the center, And I make sure to get really good adhesion. Now, with this being a 3D embossing folder, it's really important to hold down your glued areas for a second, just so that the parts that actually do hit the area that's raised up, so that you get good adherence. I then bring in some gold embellishments from my stash, and I just scattered those along, and I put those on with Barely Art glue because this does dry clear. It doesn't leave a shine or anything behind. If some of it would seep out, that's what I like most about Barely Art glue. I do appreciate you sticking it out with me. I've had so much fun creating this card. Here's the last look, and again, until next time, keep crafting. Be blessed, my friends. Bye bye.